the Java House commercial? It
Yes, I
showed
did. I loved that
that was
commercial.
amazing.
That was the best commercial. I should have run that during the Super Bowl. That was good.
That was Super Bowl quality.
It was better than the actual IndyCar Super Bowl commercials, which I mostly spent the whole time complaining because they showed, I think, the award commercial first, which made sense because he is like the statistically most popular driver. But I was just kept.
I like the Fox IndyCar commercials. They're funny.
They were
Gordon
funny
with his ethanol
if it is
perfume,
ethanol, and then they
ethanol
actually
cologne.
had the booths down in St. Pete. That was
Yes,
so funny.
that was glorious. And then he did like a showing at a department store for his ethanol.
And away we go.
I'm Tyler,
And I'm CJ.
and this is the Indianapolis 500 review. And man, was it a good race.
That was something. Not as good as last year, but still a great race nonetheless. IndyCar ovals. It's gonna be good.
We covered all the pre-race stuff, practices, qualifying last week because the Indy 500 holds all of their open tests, practices, and qualifying the week before. So we have a separate episode on that, so go check that out. But we did want to discuss together the Penske scandal. That was breaking as we were putting the episode out. I had a small insert summarizing the basics of it in last week, but we wanted to cover it in more detail this week.
Yeah, so effectively, Roger Penske fired Tim Cindric, and who's Austin Cindric's dad for NASCAR, by the way.
Austin Cindric's dad no longer has a job.
Yep.
Sad.
But
Sad
fired
Austin
them
Cindric
because
noises.
the 2 car and the 12 car got penalties, and this has not been the first time that there have been mistakes made by the Penske management in terms of illegal actions.
Yeah, P2P gate last year.
Yes, at St. Petersburg.
Yeah,
I didn't even know until well after the race that Pato O'Ward actually won. It's the worst way to win a race, not gonna lie.
Is
'Cause you
by
don't even get to
DNF.
celebrate.
Yeah, push to pass gate, that was last year. The Penskes had a device on the car that allowed them to use push to pass on restarts, which is illegal.
Yes, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
But I don't think Power didn't even use it, I believe.
Yeah, Will Power. So yeah, we have Joseph Newgarden, who is very vocal. He's the mouthpiece of the Penske trio. Will Power is just there. He doesn't do anything. Like he was just there this race. And then Scotty Mack is cool. We like Scotty Mack because like Shane Van Gisbergen, he came up through Australian Supercars, which
Australian Supercars.
if you haven't watched that series, it's the coolest race. Objectively, it is the coolest and most fun racing series because it's like they're driving giant. I don't even know what to call them. They're not supercars like Paganis and Koenigseggs and Lambos. That's just the name of the series. But go check out Australian Supercars, especially the 2014 Bathurst 1000. Josh Revel on YouTube has a great video about that. Go check that out. Yes, so that was P2P Gate, and then we don't have a funny name for this incident yet. Just give the internet time, and they'll get one. But the gist of it was the rear attenuator on the Penske cars, which is basically reduces the amount of G-force felt when a car gets rear-ended. And the Penske cars had a more aerodynamic one, which were not, because IndyCar is a stock series, you can't modify the car that much. So that was illegal. We don't know if McLaughlin's car had it because he had crashed out of qualify. He'd crashed out in the morning in qualifying practice, and so he didn't get to run. But the other two Penske cars of Newgarden and Power failed their technical inspections because of it. And it is believed that this has been on the oval cars since at least last year because it was found on Joseph Newgarden's race-winning car from last year, which is displayed in the IndyCar Museum. But the fact that it was on there...
Why did it take so long for them to find this rear attenuator?
I don't know.
They should be inspecting this every race.
Maybe the Indy 500 is really the only one that they care about. They take the American approach. We're like, yeah, it looks good. You can go on. Instead of like the French that examine every single bit of the F1 car and disqualify George Russell for being a half a kilo underweight. You can lose that. You can lose that off the front wing end plate for all that matters, like Leclerc did in China.
Right.
But that all makes me think that Penske, again, didn't realize it. Either somebody in Penske didn't realize it was illegal or didn't realize it was on the car in the first place, because they wouldn't have put a car with an illegal part in a museum.
Right. Unless they were trying to hide the evidence.
Yeah.
Conspiracy? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Penske
Roger
Gate.
Penske
Here it
owns
comes.
Roger Penske owns Penske, IndyCar, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Who knows? Conspiracy
Well,
theories
Roger Penske's
abound.
fired. Wait a minute. Roger Penske fired Tim Cindric.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. It's Penske Gate. We're going to uncover it.
Penske Gate. Penske Gate as a whole, this saga, that deserves its own special. Moral of the story, Austin Cindric's dad no longer has a job. So, sad Austin Cindric noises. Anyway, time for the crazy wreck fest with a bit of fire
That track was cursed on Sunday.
Yes, it was. We had a short rain delay to start the race, so the track was damp on the formation lap. When who but the one Penske that didn't get a grid penalty, Scott McLaughlin, pulled a Lance Stroll and crashed on the pace lap.
We like you, Scotty. We like you. We really do. But we did compare you to Lance Stroll.
I'm sorry. It was such a Stroll moment that
let's not compare him to Lance Stroll. Instead, let's compare him to Romain Grosjean. It's a very more similar incidents. In that incident is Romain Grosjean. He crashed into the safety car while swerving. We'll do that. We'll do that.
But it's not.
Stroll's on another level.
Stroll is another level of stupid. So McLaughlin, Scotty Mac pulled a Grosjean, more politically correct, and was swerving to warm up his tires, as they do, down the main straight in front of the main grandstand and spins around.
No way the radio's about to go off, I think. He's not going to be fun.
But then, I guess the main difference, when Stroll does something like that, he gets out of the car and complains. McLaughlin, he looked like genuinely torn up about it. Like, you feel for the guy that if any of y'all like do any form of competition, like I race mountain bikes, and so like that's if I got a flat tire on the start line and it just screwed up my race. I mean, that's kind of what it's feeling like. And CJ, you like to run, so if you fell and broke your leg at the start of 2/10 into a cross country race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would not be fun.
No. So
just open it up with a cramp.
We feel for Scott McLaughlin here, and all competitors can in racing sports. So sad for Scott McLaughlin. And also on the pace lap, Scott Dixon, the other Scott.
Dixon. Man, two of my favorite drivers.
Also a Kiwi.
On the pace laps.
Yes, both Scots, both Kiwis messed up the pace lap. Scott Dixon's left rear brake caught fire. So he had to come to the pits. Props to his pit crew for switching out the entire brake, but he ended up 3 laps to do it. So he ended up 3 laps down and finished the race 3 laps down. So not actually DNFing, but essentially he was completely out of the race, considering Indy doesn't have a free pass like NASCAR does.
Yeah. So rip Scotty.
Rip both Scots.
Of the Scots.
Rip the Scots. The Kiwi Scots.
And then when the race finally starts, Marco Andretti, who barely got into the 500 in the first place.
Second corner.
Even crashes.
Yep.
They didn't even get through the first corner.
Loses it, spins it, almost took out who I think was Rena's VK. I couldn't really tell. And spins, ends up at the wall. So
yeah, I think it was Marcus Armstrong. I want to say it was Armstrong.
Somebody in the back. He almost took him out.
One of the blue cars.
Anyway, again, he looked torn up. Got to feel for the guy, especially because this is the only race he runs.
Yeah. And his dad and his granddad were there.
Yeah.
None other than Michael and Mario Andretti.
So, again, you feel for him so bad. Then we actually got running for a little bit, which was great.
Green flag running. We had a lot of carnage, but we still had some good green flag running, too. That was amazing.
Yes, we did. In this green flag session, Takuma Sato moved his way up into the front. Schwartzman's the same thing we were praising him for last week, having never raced on an oval, was coming back to bite him. That is just lack of oval experience when two-time winner Takuma Sato.
Restart.
Yeah, two-time winner Takuma Sato.
Prepared or something. Takuma Sato jumped him on the restart, and he ended up going down the fourth, and it was
Schwartzman started dropping like a rock there.
Yeah.
Then through the
just kept getting worse, kept compounding.
At this point, the two main strategies were breaking out. We had, the Fox booth gave him some names. I don't remember. We have strategy A and strategy B. The A cars came in first cycle of pits, pretty standard. All of this allowed the Ed Carpenter Racing.
Christian Rasmussen.
Alexander Rossi, Christian Rasmussen, and Ed Carpenter himself to be running 1, 2, 3.
See the Java House commercial? It
Yes, I
showed
did. I loved that
that was
commercial.
amazing.
That was that best commercial. I should have run that during the Super Bowl. That was good.
That was Super Bowl quality.
It was better than the actual IndyCar Super Bowl commercials, which I mostly spent the whole time complaining because they showed, I think, the award commercial first, which made sense because he is like the statistically most popular driver. But I was just kept.
I like the Fox IndyCar commercials. They're funny.
They were
Going in
funny
with his ethanol.
if it is
perfume,
ethanol, and then they
ethanol
actually
cologne.
had the booths down in St. Pete. That was
Yes,
so funny.
that was glorious. And then he did like a showing at a department store for his ethanol.
Anyway, funny aside about commercials. Ed Carpenter running 1, 2, 3, and then what did Townsend say in the Fox booth about
The
that?
best seat in the house for Ed Carpenter to see his two cars out in front.
Well,
And
yeah,
he's right behind them. The only seat better would be right at the front of the field.
but all of that glory soon came to an end when, for his pit stops, Alexander Rossi came into the pit stop with a slightly overheating gearbox.
And he had a little fire.
Yes,
It
his
wasn't a little
fueler.
fire, it was a big fire.
He
Quite a big
pulled a
fire.
Jos Verstappen.
That was a Yas. Yep.
The fueler spilled the fuel, and the car caught fire. He then very angrily threw his gloves at.
Yeah, watch out for flying gloves, guys. Rossi could cause injury.
I'm just
What's
glad
more
I
dangerous,
didn't.
the fire or the gloves? We don't know.
We don't know. Something I wanted to make a little clarification here. The difference between a Yas and a Grosjean. A Yas happens in the pit lane. A Grosjean happens out on course. So if
Yes.
Rossi had caught fire out on track, that would have been a Grosjean. Because it happened in the pit lane, it's
That
a
would have been
Yas.
worthy of the Phoenix.
It would have been. He's a reserve for Prema this year, right?
Yes, I believe so. That's what you
Yes, he
said.
is. All right, Callum Ilott, he's mysteriously get injured so Grosjean can come back.
I like Callum Ilott, though. He's nice.
He had a solid race today, or at least his middle stint was pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we really only knew who Schwartzman was because he was a rookie and he was in the back of the field and he got lapped before IndyCar happened, and he just happened to be really fast in qualifying.
I mean, the only reason I knew Schwartzman is because he did an FP1 in Mexico City for Sauber.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the only reason I know who he was. A few laps later, Rinus VK's brakes decide not to work as he's coming into the pit lane and spins.
That was scary. He flew around that. It's amazing
But
no one
he
was hurt.
got into the wall, left a big tire splot on the wall, but got back into his pit box, so they didn't have to yellow flag it. Now, I mean, at this point, I was losing hope because, like, Schwartzman was dropping like a rock. VK had spun. So, like, everybody we liked was all of our favorites. Colton Herta had just disappeared at this point. I think he
He
had
got a penalty at some point.
Yeah.
There goes Mr. Cadillac. Yet again, a bad result.
Yeah. So, like, half of our favorite drivers were gone at this point. So I was starting to lose hope. And then that only got worse at the next cycle of pit stops. Takuma Sato overshot his pit box by a little bit, and his pit crew had to roll him back, which that essentially screwed up his race.
And then there was
we
the
have,
Israeli bowling incident.
as you so poetically dubbed it last night as we were watching it, the Israeli bowling incident. Schwartzman's brakes decide not to work, and he just drives straight into his pit crew.
Yep. It's amazing only one person was injured. So that was definitely a big break for the Prema crew.
Yep. Sad for our pole sitter.
Yeah. And it caused him to retire too.
Yeah. I just fell over laughing when like you texted me Israeli bowling as you watched it, and I was like, what the heck? So funny.
Yes. That was a chaotic pit stop. Yellow flag
Yes.
pit stops were chaotic, brother.
Yep.
I forgot how chaotic how much chaos the IndyCar cautions can create because we've had none of it. We had more
Cautions do
cautions in the
breed
Indy 500
cautions.
than we did in the entire season leading up to this.
Yep. As Mike Joy says, cautions breed cautions.
Yes, Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, and just the whole NASCAR community says.
And as cautions breed cautions, a NASCAR driver was the one to bring out our next caution. Kyle Larson downshifted when he shouldn't have, lost it, spun it, collected Kiffin Simpson and our boy Stingray Robb. So Kyle Larson failed at his attempt to do the double, leaving Tony Stewart as still the only driver to do it, which is just it's so random that of all the drivers I think the NASCAR elites that would have attempted the double, Tony Stewart does not come to mind. He was a NASCAR elite back in the day, but I say back in the day, this was like the late 90s and early 2010s, which that wasn't super long ago. It felt like it though. Yeah, his attempt at the double ends in dramatic fashion, taking out the dude from the Cayman Islands and the guy with the best name in motorsport. So at this point, Connor Daly was the only driver that we actually liked. I mean, him and Nolan Siegel, but Nolan Siegel wasn't doing anything. So Connor Daly was our only hope left
Yeah.
of a funny result.
Yes. So then Newgarden was charging through the field. He was effectively 7th in the essence of his race.
Way ahead of the pace that the Penske strategists that weren't fired had set for him.
Yes. But then he pitted, and
A
then his
fuel
fuel
pressure
pressure just
issue.
gone, and that pretty much cooked him.
What a way to end his surging attempt at winning 3 in a row with a fuel
It's
pressure
gone.
issue.
And then Hunter Ray on his money stop. Hunter Ray, he's ended up stalling.
Yeah, the last of the one-timers with a shot at winning, still in this pit box, which it was just, I think, dumb luck that he ended up in the front of the race and staying up there.
Right, and especially since he was on not even a backup car, he was on something else.
Yeah, it was about lap 160 where the A and B strategies started to A being the early stoppers and the undercuts and B being the overcut. It was about this time where they started to merge. And it just so happened to have Ryan Hunter-Reay, Marcus Ericsson. Who is it? I get Gregson and who is the 4 in IndyCar?
David Malukas.
Yes, I get Malukas and Gregson mixed up because they both have
The 4s are like exactly the same font.
yeah, the 4s are basically they both drive the 4 and they both have generic white guy first names. So I get them mixed up. David Malukas, Marcus Ericsson,
Yes, but we like
Connor
David
Daly.
Malukas is chill. Noah Gregson is not.
I don't even know how Gregson won the fan vote for the All-Star race.
I don't even know why he's popular. It's probably because he's a redneck and he does interviews with the Rizzler. He probably got all the children voting for him because he was with the Rizzler at the 500.
Yeah, the top 5 was just so weird. But then Connor Daly, our last hope, our last just chill, goofy guy, was his right rear tire gave out and he couldn't make it.
It's
He had to
amazing
come
that he
into the
didn't
pits
crash.
early.
That's commendable.
Yep. He had to come into the pits early, and then that ended his race. So and then for once we had a good stop. Marcus Ericsson is in the lead, comes in, pits, and comes out in the lead. For
Yes.
once we had a good stop by the dude running in first.
Yeah. But then when it all came together, perfect Pillow,
Perfect polo.
he just ended up getting past Ericsson.
Yeah, sadly.
So he's not meant to be. And it was later found out that apparently Ericsson was in violation of some rule that IndyCar has, and he got DQ'd along with
Of course he
Kirkwood.
did.
I actually found that out just now, like literally 5
Of
minutes
course he
ago.
did.
Yeah, he was in violation. Kirkwood and Ericsson were in violation of the energy management system, and Aylett was also disqualified for front wing issues. So Malukas got second on the Indy 500, and Award got a podium.
Good for Award.
Yes, and only 12 cars finished on the lead lap.
Rival in F1
No,
there.
yeah. Nolan Siegel would have finished on the lead lap, but he crashed.
Nolan Siegel.
Yes, and apparently
I think
it's watching another victory celebration from the surgeon.
which we've seen 5 times already this season.
Yes.
Yes, so what you can take away from this race, IndyCar does not care about whether or not Nolan Siegel is alive.
Yep.
I feel the strong need to pull a Top Gear and say, on that bombshell, it's time to end.
Yep. Unlike F1, IndyCar does not care whether the drivers stay alive or not.
Nope,
They care about the celebration.
They care about the celebration.
At least Fox does. We don't know about. At least IndyCar threw the caution. Or Fox. I didn't want to
NASCAR would
spoil
have
the
just
moment. NASCAR would have been like another crash. Surprise, surprise.
yeah. But I mean, I was so mad that Pillow won. Nothing against Pillow himself. Pillow, he's a humble guy. He's just a nice
He's a
guy.
good
You
dude.
can't not like him. So
Right.
as a person, we like Pillow.
If there's one person to have an extended streak of dominance, it's going to be Pillow. He's
Yeah.
the best person to have an extended streak of dominance. But we don't
We
want
just
an
don't like that
extended
he's
streak
winning.
of dominance. It's too much.
Yeah.
He's too much Pillow.
Whenever his Chip Ganassi contract is up, stick him in the Cadillac drive. He's got the super license points.
I don't think he wants to be in F1 because he already bailed on his contract for McLaren. He bailed on his contract with McLaren that he signed after he bailed on his contract with Chip Ganassi, but then bailed on his McLaren contract.
Objectively, I think Ward did an interview with a F1 photographer named Kim Illman, who, if you want to see like a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, check out his channel on YouTube. That's KYNILLMAN. He did a short interview with him that was like, IndyCar is a whole lot more fun than NASCAR. The fans are better. The fans are cooler. The racing is more fun. It's faster. The racing is more dangerous.
Dangerous.
So like,
Dangerous.
if F1 is like the teacher's pet, the kid that always shows up, always very well dressed, never does anything against the rules. The IndyCar is the kid in the back of the classroom with a hat on, sunglasses, half asleep, not really paying attention. But IndyCar is the cool guy, while F1 is the correct guy.
Yeah, F1 doesn't care about action; they care about safety.
Yep. And then NASCAR is
They care
the
about the rules.
NASCAR is the redneck in the back with a flannel shirt with the sleeves torn off, cowboy boots and jeans with his lifted truck in the parking lot.
Yes, and he's throwing a
Love that about
party. He's
NASCAR.
throwing a party in the middle of his classroom when the teacher's gone.
Yeah, he's got a pocket DJ Dix in his backpack. That and a 6-pack of Bud Light. America.
Yes, NASCAR is a reflection of America.
Southern American culture, the best part of America.
Southern culture is the wildest part of America.
Yes, it is. Brilliant race. I don't even know how we pick an over under there. I mean, you want to start?
Ooh, okay. Looking at this, I think we're gonna go Connor Daly because he's a one-timer, and he was running really well until that right rear just gave up. So I
Yep.
think that'll be my over. I want to do something less obvious than the actual race winner below.
Yeah.
It's not really an over because he qualified in the top 6. He was in the second row when the race started, and then he went on to win, and he doesn't make mistakes. Normal Polo stuff, just happened to be on an oval this time.
Yeah. First win on an oval, which is shocking. Honestly, when I'm looking up here, it's like we have crazy weird movers. We have Lungard, who got up to 7th somehow, the 7th and 7th, which is great. Santino Ferrucci, who was just really good at the Indy 500 for some reason.
Yeah.
But unlike Pelot, he is not a very likable guy. And then David Malukas, who was up there. So I guess I'll highlight all 3 of them. I'll pick Malukas for not making a mistake and ending up second after DNFs, but good on
and
him.
recovering after losing his McLaren seat last year.
Yep.
After not even getting to drive for McLaren because he broke his wrist in a biking accident.
Yeah. Under. Funny aside, Nolan Siegel still finished 13th even after he crashed.
Yeah, because everyone else was a lap down. Couldn't pass him.
Under. I'm going to say Takuma Sato because he led the most laps. He and Ryan Hunter-Reay, Takuma Sato led 14, Hunter-Reay led 48. So I guess I'll kind of make them my
Yeah, Sato was good.
combined
car.
unders.
Ultimately
Yeah.
finished 17 second.
Just after the stall, he couldn't come back. And again, I hate to fault drivers for mechanical failures, but this overshooting the pit box is a driver mistake. Even if the car's brakes did have something to do with it in the slick track, but normally I wouldn't fault that. But I mean, here where any mistake in a pit stop is punished, I think that's got to be it.
My under here would probably be, let's see, where's an under? I'm looking at the standings right now. I would like to give a shout out to Graham Rahal for finishing 17th despite having a terrible race car. Well, I guess that's because there were a lot of DNFs. Never mind. No shout out there.
He was 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, yeah, he was actually never mind. He was still tail end of decent cars.
Yeah, he was.
Never mind. Yeah, no shout out there. Under here,
Rahal was the slowest guy that actually drove all the laps.
Yeah, except for one. He was still a lap down, pretty much. 9 engines round up to 200. See, I think my under here would be Marcus Ericsson because he had the advantage at the end and he just wasn't able to get the job done, got passed despite having a tire advantage. No, he didn't have a tire advantage.
No, he did because he had the pit stop.
Oh, because he pitted after Pelot.
Did he put on stickers, though?
Oh, that's true. I couldn't tell.
I guess
he had the tire advantage. He had the tire advantage, presumably, and he was in the lead over Pelot, over fuel-saving Pelot, but he got passed anyway because Pelot decided to use the draft from the almost lapped cars to keep the lead.
Gave up the win and ended up getting DNF'd, so it didn't really matter in the end. But what a way to go, man! For I think Ericsson hit us for the F1 memers. Yeah, Marcus Ericsson has had a whole lot more. He's had a whole lot better results in IndyCar than he ever did in F1.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what you expect. IndyCar, F1 is just not for everyone.
Nope.
F1 is a very niche. It's for a very select group of drivers. Probably means it truly is the best in the world. Probably
Except
what
for
that
Lance
means.
Stroll. It's the best in the world and Lance Stroll.
Yes, there is the exception of Lance Stroll.
Well, that was race gets a 10. Best IndyCar race of the season.
Yes, personally, I'm giving it an 8 because I've seen better personally, but that was the best race of the season for sure.
Best race of the season by far.
Yes.
So what a race! What a definitely the highlight of the Crown Jewel weekend.
Yeah, the Indy 500 is
The latter
awesome.
half of NASCAR was good, but definitely the highlight of the Triple Crown weekend. Anything else you got to say?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
All right,
It's all around
good.
a fun race.
Yes, it was. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. This is one of 3 episodes dropping this week on Crown Jewel weekend, as we're calling it. So go check out our reviews of the kind of boring Monaco Grand Prix, but still an interesting episode, and the Coke 600. If you like what you hear, be sure to follow or subscribe depending on your platform. Join the Discord linked in the show description if you want to engage with us and keep track of the stroll counter, and join our petition to build a purpose-built Monaco circuit. Go check out the Monaco episode for more about that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.